VGC is supported by Patreon. Check out patreon.com/videogameschronicle for more podcasts, ad-free browsing, and extra content. Thank you for your support. Crying in a suit and tie, but you should see the other guy. It's VGC the Video Game Podcast with me, Jordan Midler, and Chris Scullion. This week, discs don't make sense for man set to make a lot of money, and we're getting a fancy Switch and PS5. But first, how's it going, folks? Chris Scullion, first of all glory to God.
Of course. Mate, I'm shattered. It's been a week.
It has been a week.
It's been a few weeks, to be honest, but yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping next week, unlikely, will be the calm before the storm, because obviously the week after's Gamescom.
The calm before the storm?
The calm before the calm.
Have you seen that? And that's not bad. Have you seen that the German authorities have decided to just mess up all the trains the week of Gamescom? I think that's a pretty funny move on their part. Good sense of humour. The Germans are known for it.
Oh, they're especially Henningberg, who I actually quite like, to be fair. But so I'm flying into Dusseldorf, or as I believe the Germans call it, Düsseldorf. And the plan was to get a train from Dusseldorf to wherever the hell it is.
Cologne. As many a journalist and consumer will be doing.
German for aftershave as well. So I was going to get the it was either going to get the train, or I was going to meet Andy at the airport because he's on a separate flight, and get a taxi in. But Dusseldorf's about an hour's drive away, so I thought maybe best to get the train. But yeah, like you said, they've decided all trains from Dusseldorf to Cologne for the next 3 or 4 weeks basically are just done. The entire line's been shut down. Basically means we need to get this Uber. And listen, I've spoken about this in the past. It's every single driver in Germany is Crazy Taxi certified. So it's going to be like an hour drive on der Autobahn.
Nice.
So I'm fearing for my life. I'll be delighted to get there in one piece.
The scariest taxi experience I've ever had was when I went to see the second Respawn Star Wars game, and I landed in LA like kind of 7 o'clock time, and I was going from LA to Hollywood, which is like an kind of LAX to Hollywood, which is like an hour's drive. The boy did it in about 15 minutes. It was absolutely, he was peeling down that road and he's just swerving in and out, and I was like, okay, I started to understand. Everybody drives like this, and they have to all drive like this, because if someone drove normally, they would interrupt the feng shui of the LA highway system, and they would be the danger. It's like how on the M8, everybody sits at about 75 to 80, and if anyone sat anything below that, it would mess up everything. So I was like, but after you've flown for that long, you're like, get me home, please, God.
The last time I was there, Gamescom last year, the drive literally from Cologne, I went to Cologne that time, from Cologne just to my hotel, I saw 3 cars at the side of the road that were kind of broken, and I was like, that's oddly high. And then realised quite quickly why it was, because the guy came off the motorway almost on 2 wheels. It was like Colin McRae, luckily driving, not flying. And exactly. And it was one of those ones where he turned off the turning, and you were holding on, because you could feel your whole body like moving to the side. I was like, this is brutal. But so I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the games. I've got like 27 bookings, which is a bit much for 2.5 days. But I'm not looking forward to getting there.
You know what really annoys me? When someone is in my passenger seat and they act as if they're on the Pepsi Max at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, like holding on to the little hanger on the roof of the car, like bumping about. I'm like, I'm on a straight road. Like, what are you playing at here? It's a maw thing, I think. They just have absolutely no constitution. They act as if they're a dog standing up in the back of the car. Like, they've just got no balance about them whatsoever.
To be fair, when I'm in the passenger seat when Louise is driving, she's not a bad driver, but I think it's because your perspective shifts slightly. And when you're driving, you're used to where the edges of the car are. Yeah. And then when you're not, you suddenly, like, every time she'll turn like a corner, I'm like, and she's like, what's
like, you feel like you're going to smash into the car that's coming. I get that. And also, I've noticed recently, when I've been in taxis, I can't look at my phone as much as I used to be able to. I have to, like, if I'm sitting reading something on my phone and the taxi's going, specifically in America where the roads are like bumpy as anything, I'm like, I'm going to whitetail over the back of this car. Not going to be great for my Uber rating, but I've got a surprisingly good Uber rating for someone of my temperament. If you'd like to
keeping me. Oh, sorry.
No. Tell me.
It was filler, but we can save it for later if you want. It's up to you.
This podcast is all killer, no filler.
It's a odd visual gimmick. I ordered these from one of the dodgy sites. It might be an AliExpress effort. These have been keeping me going, right? We magnets, a wee Family Mart one, a wee 7-Eleven one, and of course, to complete the set, you need a cheeky wee Lawson one.
Soap.
And so they're magnets, but also, let me get this working.
I was going to say, they better play the gimmick.
They light up.
Nice.
It's not very well shown, but
no, you can see that.
So you can put them on your fridge and have them lit up. And the charge lasts about 4 or 5 hours. So for a few hours you can.
Do they not play the tune?
They don't, which is.
So here's where you've went
pathetic.
wrong. The real ones do play the tune. They do the wee ding dong.
But they must be. The real ones must be pricey though. These were like.
So they're pricey if you get them here, but obviously in Nihon everything's about 20 pence. So
next time these will keep me going until then.
It is genuinely. It is fewer than 30 days until I'm going to Japan, and I cannot wait. I'm starting to really get excited. Not so excited about the prospect of the weather, which seems like it's still going to be absolutely sickly hot, but it'll be a laugh all the same. If you want to laugh all the same, you can get it over at patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. That's the best way to support VGC and support independent games media. We have no corporate overlords like the rest of those you-know-whos. Yeah, if you think games media is in a rotten old state, you'd be right, but the best place to support it is over on Patreon. Pick your poison, and if your poison is VGC, it's patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle to support us and get ad-free browsing, extra podcasts, extra videos, and so much more. This week on Patreon, myself and Chris watched an episode of a retro gaming TV show. Do you want to tell me a little bit about it, Chris? As if I wasn't there.
We watched a bit of Games World. For those who remember Games World on Sky One, they had like a million different types of show. But we watched an episode of Beat the Elite, where young children go head to head against adults dressed as and a child dressed as the Vidiators. So that was a sight to behold. There are better Games World episodes which I'm going to dig out for you because there's some stuff that your eyes won't believe.
The episode we watched hosted by an extremely drunk man, which was enjoyable. But
yeah. So that was good. Also, either tonight or more likely tomorrow, some point during the weekend, my lost tapes from last year's Gamescom is going to go up. So basically, I think I said this already, but for those who don't know, I started a Gamescom vlog last year and then was out my depth because I didn't have the right equipment for it. So like, there's loads of behind the scenes footage and footage I've taken from various booths and stuff and getting there in various parts of Germany. So I'm going to put it together in a montage and do a bit of commentary over it just to give you an idea of what Gamescom is like when you're there. And then we'll try and get something better this year. I'll get a more kind of authoritative vlog done this year, and then obviously I've got my Japan vlog due at the end of the month as well, so vlog central. When
we head off to the Four Corners in Glasgow of Union Street, I'm going to the Cat House. Chris and Andy are going to KFC, Taco Bell. Pizza Hut's shut now, long shut. That McDonald's will always be kicking a ball. One of the worst places on planet Earth, that Union Street McDonald's. 10 years ago now, I was out for Halloween at the Cat House. I was dressed as Burt Macklin from Parks and Rec, and my pal was dressed as Seth Rollins in the Shield era. So they had like the side of their hair yellow and the whole gear. There was a big long table at McDonald's, family style, it's a communal experience. So there was this lassie sitting at the end of the table dressed as Shrek, and she was really clearly not having a great night because most of her Shrek makeup had been subsided by tears that had poured down her face and created kind of a pattern of the green sea across her face. So me and my pal are talking. We're waiting for our order, which the Union Street McDonald's is a bit like waiting for Godot. It could happen. It could happen forever, or you could get it immediately. And you just hear this kind of rumbling. You sense it before it happens. She just slumps her head down. White is the length of the table. And like not even like a slow birth. Like, you watch the footage of a tsunami and it's not fast. It just happens and keeps going and building and building. And at that point I was like, you know what? I don't think I need this double cheeseburger. I think we just went up the road. I don't ever think we got our food. And the way that the staff of that McDonald's reacted, it was as if this happens every 10 seconds. They were so nonplussed about the idea. You'd have to drop dead in that McDonald's for anyone to even bat an eye.
To register it. Back in the day, back in the glory days of Union Street, either the McDonald's, maybe not the McDonald's, maybe the shop next to it, but I remember this being big enough to maybe have been the McDonald's. There was a Tower Records there.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely glorious. I'd like someone, I don't know if you remember, because it would have been way, way back in the day, someone to confirm whether it is where the McDonald's now stands at the corner or whether it was a smaller shop next to it. I get the feeling
it is the shop next to it, because there is big double bay windows on the top of that shop, and that's where Bon Jovi played out the window. I think that building is now a Sexy Coffee, which a terrible name for an establishment. A Sexy Coffee was also the coffee shop on the corner of Glasgow Central that is now Ashes, thanks to the glorious vape shop that did Seppuku on that street.
Well, next to that Virgin Tower Records was Dunkin' Donuts as well back in the day. Dunkin' Donuts was kicking the ball in that street. And then further down, years later, there was a Missing that did the second-hand DVDs and CDs. That was the glory days. I used to spend a load of time in Glasgow at that bit.
There's still well, at least this could honestly have been 15 years ago, but I'm pretty sure there's still a record shop like underneath there. There's also the hip hop shop, which is a classic. And you used to go and get the Gigs in Scotland building was down there. I don't know if it still is. Can people even still get physical tickets? Anyway, back in my day, seems like physical tickets are going the way of physical games. Story number 1, discs don't really make sense for the consumer, says Take-Two boss on GTA 6's digital launch. This is Big Strauss Zelnick in an investor Q&A. Get the popcorn out. This is the most exciting period of the year. It's money time. Quote, our business is well over 90% digitally distributed, Zelnick said in a Q&A as spotted by IGN. It's already a digital business, so in certain instances, especially if it's a big game, discs don't really make sense for the consumer. Also, most instances you have to register online to play anyhow. So if you're already connected, who cares if you download digitally? It's all the same and much more convenient. So that's where the world is going, in our opinion, and I think Sony understands that. We certainly understand that. It doesn't mean that we won't have physical editions now and then. I'm sure we will have it in the same way there's still vinyl records in the music business, but in other instances, it just won't make sense. One moment, please. Chris, does this guy think a physical edition counts if it's a code in a box? Because I wouldn't say there is a physical edition of GTA 6, despite the fact that I've pre-ordered it for a laugh.
I think it's very easy to say discs don't count. Who cares if you download digitally? When you're releasing a game that appears to be launching with a single player only element that a lot of people might horse in a week and take to CEX to trade in. So it's very easy to say no one cares about discs when you want to sell as many copies of your game as possible, and are removing the ability to buy pre-owned versions of said game.
Question from an idiot.
Hello.
So, and you might not know this either. In the current way of it, when companies have to get a disc made for a game, say GTA 6, if they were making a disc version of that, is it Take-Two that's putting up the money for that? Or is it Sony that's putting up the money for that, for the actual physical product?
I believe the publisher pays Sony to make the discs.
So you're telling me it's in the publisher's best interest to say, shove your discs up your arse. How about you just do the digital? That's very...
Pretty much. Curious, isn't it? Curious, isn't it?
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, I don't think this Strauss Zelnick guy's on the side of the gamers, personally.
I think it's quite telling that it's the developers who are more pro-disc, and the publishers seem to be the ones saying, doesn't bother, listen, Capcom came out and said, listen, 90% of our games are digital, we couldn't get a monkeys, but although I noticed that friend of the show, Dringo, was saying the other day that the Resi Requiem sold about 40% on physical, so he says. The guy's full of it.
He makes it up just like Digital Foundry does. No one's going to fact check him.
He's got a dartboard, the Dringo dartboard, the Dringboard, and it's basically got game titles. He's got two dartboards up on the wall.
The chartboard.
One of them's got the chartboards. One of them's got game titles on it, and he'll go Resident Evil Requiem, and the other one's got percentage of physical sales, and they'll go right in the middle of the bullseye is 40%, and they go, oh, okay, and then go to his Twitter and type out Resident Evil sold 40%.
I mean, who could possibly check? Are you going around everybody's house, be like, oh, have you got this physically? No, all right, cool, fine.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah, I think that it's not surprising that Sony is getting the backing of the big publishers for doing this. I think that the vinyl record analogy only works if there's still a physical thing. You can't be like, oh, physical is going to go the way of vinyl, but vinyl is still a huge portion of the, well, maybe not a huge portion of the money made in music, but from music collectors' point of view, it's still a big thing. And like when Taylor Swift, like pound for pound, biggest musician in the world. I think it's hard to argue that, regardless of what you think of her. She's constantly releasing vinyl variants, and it's like a big part of the marketing strategy because it's a collectible thing, because collectibles are huge, and it's something that is expensive. The vinyls are like 50 quid a shot now, which is crazy, that people will buy, maybe not even open, because they're like, well, I want to actually listen to this. I'm obviously just going to listen to it on Apple Music or whatever, but I have this physical thing that I can hold and go, I am a fan of this, I am collecting this.
I was reading a thing recently that made me realise I'm so out of touch with modern fandom, right? There's an article that says a lot of these vinyls don't sound like the digital releases because there's such a long lead time on vinyls that the music tracks from new albums that are submitted to be made into vinyl can change right up to the last minute digitally. So people are getting Ariana Grande albums or whatever. Get well soon, Ariana. She's looking rough. Then they'll get the album, and then the vinyl will come out like 3 weeks later or whatever, and they'll listen to the vinyl and say, this sounds totally different. There's bits missing in that. And people are going, like, being angry at it. But back in the day, if it was the Spice Girls who'd released a new LP version of Spice, or indeed Spice World, I would have been like, well, this is an alternate cut of Say You'll Be There. This is brilliant. I'm delighted by that. As a fan, I think they would have been more interested in different takes of the same song, but it seems like they're going mental saying this isn't the same song. I thought that would have been welcomed rather than...
Yeah, there's probably a world in which like the first run of the vinyls become more rare because as they get repressed, they'll get repressed with like the final version of the song. But yeah, it's a weird thing. So my favorite artist, Phoebe Bridgers, released her new album today, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the first from all our previous albums. I've had the vinyl version pre-ordered, and I usually get it like put in a frame because they usually have nice coloured variants of vinyls. And I was like, oh, I should probably do that. And then I got down the rabbit hole of like the Japanese variants of vinyls because it's huge over there. Like they have such a physical media kind of culture over there still. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do this. And then I had to stop because eventually when I look at this stuff for too long, I think, this is pointless. I don't care. I'm not going to get any of this. I'll just scrap the whole idea. Let's get rid of everything in this house. So,
do you know what I nearly bought when I was in Japan? I get sent a record player for Martha is Dead. Famously,
what a game! What a title!
Listen, what a shocker of a game. And I get sent a record player for it in the soundtrack and LP, and it's an amazing soundtrack. It's good, but I've never bothered to set up a record player and sit and listen to a record. I can do that, but I still like the idea of having vinyls. I just don't have many. I almost bought in Japan. Have you seen these wee things that you sit on top of a record and it plays it?
Oh yeah,
But the Tower Records in Japan, it was in Tower Records in Kyoto, and it had a wee Tower Records bus, like a wee like VW camper type bus, and you set that on the record and turn it and wind it up or whatever, like put the batteries in it, turn it on, and it goes round the grooves of the record and plays out a wee speaker in the van. So you just set the record on the floor and set the van on top of it. That's
pretty good. Does that wreck the record? Or?
Probably. I wouldn't imagine any more than the needle that usually goes on the thing, but I have no idea. I didn't go into enough analysis. I just
Strauss Zelnick would slap you across the chops for wanting something like that.
Strauss, couldn't he slap me across the chops?
He's in WWE 2K27, 6, 7, whatever one it is, 6, 7, and you're not.
Leather him.
Yeah. Jake McPake would take Strauss Zelnick to Hell in a Cell.
Rip his lungs out. But I mean, this GTA is going to get like a special edition next year anyway for double dipping, and they'll go, oh, here's a statue of the two protagonists, a big map that everyone wants, a steelbook TM, and maybe a disc copy just for a laugh. and various other trinkets. Maybe a pisswasser keychain.
A semi-automatic. I said this at the time, and I'll stand by it. If the death of physical means the death of steelbook, it'll be well worth it. Well worth it, in my opinion.
Give me the shovel, I'll dig you the grave right now.
I think that the collector's editions of GTA games have been pretty good in the past. Like they made a big deal of it, but I always have to remember that I'm framing that in an era where 2013 everything got a big collector's edition. That was a really big money spinner, and I feel like collector's editions have kind of gone by the wayside nowadays. I'm kind of surprised when a game gets a big collector's edition. There's something. Well, I suppose this isn't a secret or anything, but Blood of Dawnwalker, which comes out pretty soon, it's doing the like. You get a big box version and you get a statue of the guy, this kind of gear. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of a throwback. But I suppose that game's a bit of a throwback.
Games like that's a gamble because, I mean, I imagine there's some sort of following for a game like that. But I would imagine games like that, you expect people to get into the protagonist after the game comes out.
Yeah.
You're taking a gamble hoping that people are going to connect with whoever's on the statue like before. Like
Don Walker.
Don Walker. Andy Walker's sister, I believe.
Andy's not doing so well these days.
Is he not?
No, he did time. It was a dark time for the Glen Roth's community.
Are you on about the actual pundit Andy Walker?
No. Your Honour. Your Honour, this is a theoretical Andy Walker. I don't think he's from Glen Roth.
I was just protecting you there, just in case the Walker family's listening. Roy Walker, God rest him.
Yeah, very, very litigious. Very litigious. It's good, Roy but Walker it's not right. Anyway.
Yeah. What's Mr. Chips doing?
Roy Walker, one for the teenagers there. If there's anybody listening that gets it's good but it's not right reference, really, from your retirement home.
Roy Walker did my favourite. It doesn't even count as a catchphrase, funnily enough, even though it was on catchphrase. When they dissolve the big catchphrase at the end and hit the buzzer, go, and it would reveal the wee bit, and they got to guess what it is. And they go, is it a bird in the hand? And they get it right, and Roy Walker would go, Roy! that was my favourite catchphrase from Catchphrase, was just him going, Roy! So yeah, God rest him. The point is that these physical editions, like I get it for like Xbox have announced a big Gears of War E-Day one where it's like Marcus helping somebody up for a pit or something, and they announced a bunch of other ones for their other big games. So I get that because people know who Marcus Phoenix is and Gears of War fans are. Is there a big Don Walker, Blood of Don Walker community already?
I think
ready to buy statues.
I mean, maybe because the guy that directed Witcher 3, there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, we'll give this a try. The trailers have looked really good. When I played it, it was brilliant. So there's like a bit of momentum. Maybe they've just not made tons of them, but I agree. It's like when they did a collector's edition that I bought for Watch Dogs. I suppose Watch Dogs is slightly different because you were trading off the fact that, well, this is Ubisoft and they make the really good Assassin's Creed games. So you're
going on the faith that you're going to care about the protagonist. Yeah, maybe there's just a lot of Sky Sports fans who like Andy Walker and just want to.
Which again, I was not referencing. Your Honour, got a knock at the door.
It's a common name, to be fair.
Yeah. Maybe the fact that they're not doing a real physical version or a physical collector's edition has something to do with this. Story number 2, the $100 Ultimate Edition of GTA 6 is selling more pre-orders than the $80 Standard Edition, Take-Two CEO says. In an interview with CNBC, Strauss Zelnick was initially asked whether strong pre-orders in GTA 6 would result in strong continued sales after the game is released, or whether this marked the initial surge of interest that would tail off after the game is out. It really depends on the title, Zelnick replied. In the case of Grand Theft Auto 5, it continued to sell. We've sold 230 million units, continued to perform through 3 console generations. 230 million copies of a game, Jesus Christ. So in that case, he didn't say that. So in that case...
So what am I like?
It was and remains the standard bearer, not just for our company, but also for the industry over 13 years. Now, of course, we can never project that to occur again, but that is a historical fact. I think the odds are very high that pre-orders turn into sales, but we can't tell if the demand that was pulled forward because of the initial excitement of the most avid consumers, or whether it reflects something very different. There's just no history from which to extrapolate. It was then asked about the split pre-orders and says that the $100 price point is doing better. Now, Matt Piscatella, a friend of the show, said that this is actually quite common with pre-orders, where the hardcore players who pre-order stuff generally go for the big fancy. But for something like GTA 6, where people have lasted for so long, going between 80 and 100 is absolutely hee-haw. I'm not surprised by this in the least, even though the things you get are quite pish.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does make sense. I mean, to be fair to Zelnick, for once, not to sound.
To be fair to Strauss Zelnick,
not to sound like a Zelnick supporter. We are Zelnick supporters, faithful through. Na, hey, Strauss Zelnick. He does say when he was asked what sold the most, he was saying 100 sells most, but then he came up with the same caveat. He says, look, to be fair, that's mostly the hardcore are the ones who did the pre-orders, and I'd imagine when it comes out, like just to buy in the shops, people will be buying the $80 one more because they're just the quote unquote normal folk. But like you said, it's been 7-8 years since the last GTA, and so people are just like, to be fair, it looks like it's just content. But
did you just say it's been 7 or 8 years since the last year? No, it's been 13 years?
I said 7 to 8 years. I was exaggerating for comic effect. But they're clever with the content here, because when you see the list of all the content that they're releasing, it's varied enough that if you buy that $80 game, you're going to frequently get locked icons, because it's one shop and it's one gun and it's one bit of outfit and it's one car and it's one tattoo and that. So you know you're going to go to the tattoo shop or whatever and look down the list of tattoos and one of them will be crossed out, or you'll go and get a car and one of them will be crossed out. So they're clever. Like, it's a wide scope of stuff. I also keep needling away at the player and reminding them, by the way, £20, get rid of these wee.
We've talked endlessly about the fact that we're not sure how they're going to handle reviews for this game, but eventually they will send a wider swath of people codes, maybe the day before when like the crazy limited reviews are already out. The code they'll be sending to everyone to make their content is the £100 version.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, I think the kid, he's right in saying that they could have charged what they wanted for it. Like, and in a sense, I struggle to praise companies like this, because they're going to make billions off this. Like, they could have very easily done $100 or $120, and people would have went, and then pre-ordered it anyway. So in that sense, fair play for resisting the urge and going with 80. But yeah, it's still going to sell comedy.
We can pre-write the stories. Biggest media launch of all time, like fastest selling video game of all time, 10 million units in 20 minutes, like all that kind of stuff is already going to be happening. I'm looking forward to seeing what the post-launch coverage for GTA is like, because when you think about it, once a GTA game is out and everyone's completed it and all the sales stories have like finished, there's probably going to be a bit of a lull between then and when they start talking about online, but it's consumed so much oxygen that I wonder what the big story will be after. And I suppose the big story after GTA is what the hell are we doing with these new consoles, but like in that little interim period, this isn't going to be, and get this clipped, this isn't going to be Cyberpunk again, where the game comes out and we have a month of banger stories, because it's like Cyberpunk is causing PlayStation 4s to explode, all that kind of stuff. This is probably going to be a big deal, and then where we'll see probably the most interest is stuff like all pigeon locations, all cars, all the stuff that doesn't go on the homepage.
The obvious stories are going to be, look how shite it looks on Series S.
Yeah.
Here are some cheeky Easter egg digs at other games and other games industry companies and people. Someone in Florida
sues them because they think that they're based on them,
because they think this is supposed to be me, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like you say, you could probably pre-write half of these, but yeah, this is obviously, as one of the biggest media launches of the year, it means a million sites are going to be looking for a million different angles, and they're being given an open world to trawl through and look for any kind of so you'll get some legitimately interesting stories, but you're also going to get absolute shite.
I think the papers will bother their arse with this.
Nah, they'll bother their arse with the launch, big media launch, and then if there is a lawsuit or something, other than that, that'll be it.
I can go on my phone and watch people being murdered across the planet just served up to me on all social medias. Like, there's no shock in a GTA anymore. I think the biggest controversy will come from people that have been recently lobotomized, being like, Rockstar's gone woke. This is it. They've turned on us. It's like, Rockstar were always woke. Yeah. Same with South Park. If you think South Park is on your side, you absolute clowns. You have brain damage. But it will be, why isn't there a mission where I'm specifically ordered to mow down a pride parade? Old Rockstar would have done that. And it's like, you just don't have a basic understanding of anything that's ever happened. So that will be a big, and it'll also be guaranteed this wasn't worth the wait. Why GTA 6 is a big disappointment. Some of these clown websites who have clearly changed to just being in like rage bait farms, because that's what Google wants now. Just rage bait farms will be like, actually, this little $5 indie game says more about Blue than GTA ever has. And it's like, oh man, I don't care. Even if that's true, I just don't get. Some things just don't need to be said. Like,
there'll be a thumbnail of a guy with his head in his hands like that, and the headline will be "Seriously Rockstar," and you watch it, and it'll be a bit where he runs and he clips through the floor and lands in the ocean, and you'll go, "Seriously, what were they thinking?
We waited 13 years for this."
Yeah,
GTA, more like DEI. Right. So we put up footage of Wolverine yesterday, and it takes everything in my body not to be a cheeky bastard to people in our YouTube comments on the VGC account, because the people that comment are so stupid. Not all of them, obviously, but
not the Discord.
Yeah, the Discordians are even worse. But one of the first comments was like, "Woke level? ? Of a Wolverine game? Woke level? Is anyone get the woke? You get the woke level for this, John? Oh no, it's not come in yet. Give me a shout when the woke level comes in, right? Because I'm not so sure.
Confirm, is Jean Grey in it or any other woman? Because I'm not buying it."
Hi, Jordan Midler, VGC here. Thanks for having us here at Insomniac. Woke level? Out of 10, would you say woke level?
Currently, I would say it's a 6.
Do you think that's acceptable?
Depends. If is it a strong 6, or is it a?
What do you think about discs?
Is it a 6 with women in it, or is it a 6?
Put it on PC.
An option
woke
to
level.
turn the blood off. Is there an option to turn the blood off?
Any women? Any smelly women?
I'll tell you now. I bloody hope not. There was an old woman lived across the road from me called Jean Grey.
Oh, was it?
And we thought she had special powers, but she died, so seemingly not. God rest her.
Needless to say, I had the last laugh.
Turns out she was not a graduate of Professor Xavier's school for Coatbridge mutants, of which there are plenty.
I was going to say that'd be a very busy school. Thanks, Sturgeon.
Huge waiting list again.
I think that Wolverine footage looks class. I'm very glad that it is as brutally gory as a Wolverine game has to be, because you could see a world where they were like, did we just make him fight robots so we don't have to absolutely live leak this thing? Because since games are so realistic now, it does become less and less palatable to have actual like horrible gore in games, but I think it's class.
This is what worries me though. I'm worried that the opposite is going to happen, and that basically the internet ruins everything. And I'm looking forward to this, but I don't want to be among the group of people who are playing it going, basically the Alley Cats syndrome, where the Wolverine will absolutely slaughter somebody and they'll go, "Oh, that'll annoy the woke. Oh, look at the gore, that'll annoy the woke." It's like, no, I can't give a shit, mate. I just want to play the game. Like, I could take or leave the gore. I get that it's there for the purpose of a Wolverine game, and I quite enjoy that, but fucking get a grip. Just these things are there for entertainment, not to just if you're so I'm getting soapbox here. If your main reason of enjoying a game is to get one over on a totally random person you've never met before, get a life.
I think you should consider that the game has quite a high woke level, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Multiple women in the game.
Women?
Jean Grey, Mystique.
God rest her.
Yeah. Mystique.
They've made a Mystique putting women in it.
Thanks, folks. That'll be it. We're doing a 35-minute podcast this week. We shall be going to a break for us to calm down from that red hot ring stinging satire. I'll be phoning Private Eye to get Chris
Big Armando's
at
the game.
Armando Wande is going to phone us and say, here, do you want to come and write the next great political barbed wittery BBC sitcom for Radio 4? It's just all people going, oh, look here, Starmer, more like Granny Hanmer.
Allegedly.
No, cut off the winter fuel tax, froze them solid, made them into gransicles. They're all just the lit. Is it Willie Napier in Still Game where they go up to give him a loaf of bread and they turn around and he's like, frozen solid. That bit's brilliant because they clearly told the old boy who's acting in that, right, stay still, and it cuts to a close-up of him and he's like that. Oh, when we come back, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT, Chris Scullion's best friend. We'll have 60 retro seconds and all the rest of the muck. We'll see you in a minute. And we are back. Former Saber writer claims she was replaced by ChatGPT during development on its ride-sharing game. A former lead writer at Saber Interactive claims she was replaced by ChatGPT. Earlier this week, it was reported that the trailer for Saber's rideshare Stimulator, is that what that game's called? Stimulator?
That's what it's called, with quote marks.
That's one of the worst titles for a video game I've ever heard in my entire life. Stimulator?
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like beat 'em and eat 'em. Stimulator contained digs aimed at Gearbox president Randy Pitchford, friend of the show, in response to criticism aimed at former parent company Embracer in Borderlands 4. Saber CEO Matt Karch confirmed that the jokes in the trailer were indeed aimed at Pitchford, but the story caught the eye of former lead writer Stella Sacco, who claimed on Blue Sky that she had been replaced on rideshare Stimulator in favour of AI writing tools. Quote, I didn't see this had been announced, Sacco posted. I was lead writer on this one, and Saber replaced me with ChatGPT midway through development. All the passenger voices were AI too. Either way, they changed direction at some point, or they're not disclosing it on Steam. Ooh. Sacco then posted a screenshot of a message she wrote on Facebook back in December 2023, which read, quote, I got replaced on one of my games at work with ChatGPT. She also claimed that her boss tried to push back against the decision to start using AI on the game, and that she tried to tell Karch that players would only become less in favour over time. My boss, to his credit, argued over and over with the C-level executive who pushed the AI. We already have Stella, and she's funny, and she's good at this. She's done live games before, so live ops are no problem. But Suit insisted gamers love the new tech, so using AI would be great marketing. That's going well. She had, my thought is all the great marketing in the world. You could have Paul Heyman as your marketeer, and if your game's called Stimulator, you're absolutely shagged, ironically. She added, when this edict came down, I warned Matt Karch, who made the AI push, that players hated AI in December 2023, and they'd hate it even more by the time the game came out. I told him this pushback would happen. He didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to my boss. He seemingly didn't listen to anyone at all. Responding to the claims, Saber provided a statement to PC Gamer denying that it replaced her or any other writer with AI, but stating that it was indeed using AI in the game's development, something that has not yet been disclosed on the game's Steam page. Quote, neither Saber nor Unigine Stimulator developed by Unigine have replaced any writers with AI for rideshare or any other game, the studio told the publication. In fact, Saber's staff of writers has tripled since 2023. Rideshare's 3 computers. Rideshare's story was written entirely by real people. So on and so forth. I think we are about to enter, and we're already kind of there, a golden age of people getting caught by this. A golden age of non-disclosures of AI stuff, and then you get into the game.
Have you seen the update to this?
No, has there been an update?
My God, has there been an update, right? So this story comes out, and so writer says she's been replaced by ChatGPT. Company comes out and says no, she wasn't.
Origin.
Okay, and yeah, but it's like, okay, it's a bit of she says, they said. We'll whatever. We'll leave it at that. And you get some people, understandably, would be thinking maybe this is just a writer who was let go, and she's annoyed she was let go, and she's maybe over exaggerating and claiming without any proof that she was replaced by AI when there might have been just another reason for it. Maybe the studio's in the right. Sabre CEO Matt Karch then posted a follow-up statement about this story. Was asked if this was the case, if Stella, what was her name?
Sacco.
I missed it. Sacco. If Stella Sacco had indeed been, if her story was right, and this is his reply, word for word, right? He said, "Stella who? I had to ask Claude because I've never spoken to her or seen her. We have already said we're using AI for certain parts of the game and we'll update the Steam page once we've finalised the feature set. Let me clarify that the entire story script, were it to win an award, would go to someone who can walk up on stage and receive it. It was always our intention to reveal this until Stella violated her confidentiality clause and revealed this before we were ready. We look at our use of AI in this particular game, which will be a lower price title, as a plus for consumers, right? Brace yourself. As far as Stella is concerned, she was replaced by someone more talented and terminated for a variety of reasons a few months later. From what I can gather, she enjoys controversy even more than I do. I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we would be dealing with someone programmed to be honest." And at that point, you have fucked your sales of Rideshare Stimulator because you have ripped the mask off and horsed it into a skip.
let's not be too hasty. That is
outrageous for a CEO.
You've got to say that's cricket. In an era where we want companies to be more honest, that is absolute cricket for Big Karchi there. Oh my God.
It's like, just keep the heat. just let it blow over. But not full foot it. Don't 2 foot it.
He must be raging. You can't, that is such a absolute post of like, he could say nothing. He could just never acknowledge it. He was probably begged to say nothing by the people that work for him. But oh my God, that's...
The problem is when you try and be edgy, you've got to walk a very thin line, because literally the day before this story, we'd already done a story on them having a dig at Randy Pitchford in the trailer for the same game. So the game's got a cheeky wee dig at Randy Pitchford because when he left a USB drive with the scud on it at the medieval thing, that's referenced in the trailer for the game. So there was that was the story doing the rounds at first, and everyone was going, "Oh, good, well in Sabre, that'll teach Pitchford very cheeky, very cheeky." And that story was what led Stella Sacco to say, "Oh, I didn't realise this game was out, by the way. They fucked me over." And now it's done a complete 180, and now everyone's saying, "Actually, are you cheeky or are you just absolute widos?" And so yeah, it's wild how the perception of that company has done a complete 180 in just a matter of 24 hours, because they've gone from good job guys teaching Pitchford a lesson to using an absolute disgrace, basically.
Stella has responded. I'm gonna read Sturgeon must condemn. I'm gonna read Stella's response here. Hey everybody, I've seen the statement by Matt Karch, CEO of Sabre Entertainment, and all the truly horrendous things he said about me. I think it should be obvious to anyone who reads the statement that he's lashing out because he did not want people to know there was AI use in the game. Everything I said was true. Here's more truth. That statement is remarkably pathetic for the CEO of any company to be making, and combined with the AI use, it will do far more damage to Sabre's reputation than it ever could mine. This screed will be many people's first exposure to the Sabre brand. I appreciate everyone's support, but the people who know me know I'm a person of principle, and one of those principles is don't let the bastards get away with it. I'm comfortable with what I said, and everyone got to see what kind of man is running Sabre. Very, very level-headed. If I was in Stella's position, I would be saying things that I'd be saying your maw. I'd be saying smell my arse. I'd be saying things that could only realistically get me a knock on the door for Andy Gray or whoever it was I libelled earlier. Andy Gray, take a boo. He's got the ball and he said I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to hit the ball and it's a goal. And I hate saying that. God, I really want the throat to do that one.
Was it Andy Walker?
No, I was trying to do Andy Gray, but
right.
did you smash it? Anyway,
move on.
One for the teenagers. listeners,
it's one of those. So listen, this is a wildly unprofessional story, and usually we wouldn't cover this sort of thing, because when I covered it at first, it was that's why I've not done the follow up, because it's really turned into mudslinging now at this point. And like at the start, it was just the story was, she said she's replaced by AI because that's the talking point these days, and he said, "No, you weren't." And that, but it's basically turned into, "You were shite anyway." And it's like, come on, it's properly, it's so childish. Like from the, but like, let's face it, also very funny. But that company's reputation needs a hell of a lot of work to recover now. Based on that, there's going to be a lot of people who will just bring that up. The internet never forgets these things. So yeah, fun times.
I was going to do the Twitch AI story, but we've had enough depressing stuff this week. You ready for some 60 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
It's quite good because people have actually been recommending that it's slowly taking off. People in Discord have been forwarding me stuff and saying, "How about this for 60 seconds?"
Yeah, so you're having to do less and less work, you absolute lazy bastard. It's time for...
I'll take it.
60 retro seconds with Chris Scullion.
Oh, sinister. The climax.
Begin.
Very quickly, Hamster Corporation, who do Arcade Archives, are doing a sale on 15 Namco games. They rarely do sales, so get in amongst it. There's 15 of them. You'll find it on the Arcade Archives website. I've been playing Agent 64, Spies Never Die, which is a modern take on GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. It's very good. It's got... it's a modern game. It's on PC just now, hopefully consoles later. It's very sharp looking, but it's clearly designed to look like the N64. Right down to when a mission starts, the camera zooms in around the guy's face and comes through it. It looks a bit like Graham Souness, which is off-putting, but other than that, it is very good. It's got local and online multiplayer in case you crave the old days of GoldenEye multiplayer. It's got a million different variations. The music feels very kind of GoldenEye era. All the sound effects sound almost like they've been lifted entirely from the game, so they probably haven't, but it's questionable. But yeah, Agent 64, Spies Never Die, highly recommended.
That was 60 retro seconds with Chris Scullion. Next story
Was.
We're going to do this one next, actually. We've got a couple of custom console jobs. First of all, PlayStation, you may have remembered them from being the enemy of the state. They're doing a Wolverine console and a couple of controllers. They're finally remembering that they put out the best deal in gaming, so they're doing covers for the digital edition and the PS5 Pro, which, Chris Scullion, you've unboxed. Congratulations. How was the experience? Did you enjoy every minute?
It was miserable. That's fine. It's weird because like I'd set it up the first, just to wind you up, the first thing I played on it was Tekken 2. I was like, this looks shite.
Where's the Raymond Trace in here?
Exactly. It's fine. I mean, to be fair, I've not had enough time to kick the heels of like actual PS5 Pro enhanced games yet. But we'll get there. It's doing the thing every PlayStation console I've had since the PS4 does, and I don't know if this is a Virgin Media thing. When I plug an Ethernet cable into this thing, it keeps saying the Ethernet cable's disconnected after 10 minutes. And it did it with the PS4, it did it with the PS5, and it's now doing it with the PS5 Pro. Something in how these consoles back end is put together, and the cable works on everything else. It works on the Xbox, it works on the Switch too, the same cable, but for some reason PlayStation hates it, and I've seen people reporting it like a Virgin thing. So basically you play it on Wi-Fi, it's fine. Yeah. So I'm playing it on Wi-Fi just now, which is a bit annoying, but
do you think it's maybe is not? I don't know if it's maybe like going into like a standby mode where it's not handshaking and then it's like not registering that it's together, because I've never had that. That's crazy.
It's like it seems fairly random as well. Like I'll turn it on if the cable's plugged in. It can go for 20 minutes and then suddenly go, the LAN cable is disconnected. The LAN cable is connected instantly again, and it's like, well, that's all well and good, but I was playing EA FC on it and it disconnected from Ultimate Team and connected right to it again. It's like, well, that's not good during the match. Yeah. That loses me the match instantly. So I've had to go on Wi-Fi, and that's always been the case with PlayStation for me, which I don't get. So that's not fixed. Other than that, it's fine. I'm happy enough with it so far. yeah, like I said, I still need to properly do the stuff. I certainly, I'll tell you what, I won't be buying for it, and that's a 400 quid cover or whatever they cost, $80.
400 quid, 60 quid. That's classic misinformation. That's like Twitter level misinformation. I can't believe Sony would sell a 400 quid console cover.
It's just a bit of plywood.
Oh, they'll sell a 400 quid console cover, but they won't give me my discs.
They won't put a disc in my £578 console cover.
Yeah. So they're selling they're doing a yellow version of the digital PS5, which will be the same price as normal PS5 digitals, I think, at this point, $570, something like that. They're doing 2 DualSenses, one's yellow, one's black. They both have kind of Wolverine claws through it, and they're doing console covers. I think it's quite cool that when you have the console cover on, you can see like inside the console itself, like it's like little bits of see-through plastic. It's fine, as we were talking about. You can get the PS1 covers that they never ended up making for the Pro outside of that fancy Pro. You can get them on AliExpress for like 10 quid. So, and they're exactly the same. Exactly the same. You get these PS4, you get these PS5 Pro console covers. Exactly the same.
Well, they all come from the same workshop, don't they? They all come from the same factory.
Same workshop. That's the boy that makes them. Workshop.
Same boy makes them, and he makes them for Sony, and he makes a little secret batch for AliExpress. And it's the same bloody thing.
Alexander Express. He works down Bolton Market. Nice fella.
A little man by the name of Alistair Express. A lovely lad.
He ended up
he's a bit cheeky with the ladies, but we all are from time to time.
We won't talk about that. He ended up doing time.
They served it though.
Bit of blue for dads.
But yeah, it's funny because when this was announced, you said on the Slack, see, they finally done a PS5 Pro cover, and I was like, what? I didn't realise that after me moaning that my launch PS5, all the new covers they were bringing out for it weren't supporting that, and I was like, well, what, have they just forgotten me? Buying a Pro, I didn't realise that there were no official PS5 Pro covers either. It's like, so you up until now you'd ignored the day one customers, and you ignored the customers who spent the most money on your stuff.
95 million consoles sold.
But scum of the earth. But yeah, like Mr. Express.
I wouldn't get your Xbox Series X console wraps, all 2 of them. Listen, if they even made 2 of them.
They're a rip-off and all. But
How many have you got?
At least they supported every all one SKU of the Series X. The prices of these are astronomical for what they are. But the Xbox ones as well. Was it $64.99, $75, £65 for a bit of plastic?
Yeah,
that's scandalous.
Isn't and devil's advocate here? Aren't all consoles just plastic and metal when you think about it?
Aye, but there's bits in them,
such as
bits, gizmos, doodads, whirly bangs.
Any Wattses?
A couple of It depends. The Pro has a Wattset in it.
Yeah,
Wattset. The standard PS5 digital, I believe, is just got a couple of curly whirlies wrapped together with some twiglets.
Twiglets are absolutely bogging, man.
Well, that's why I upgraded.
Yeah, well,
twiglets are honking, but
I remember someone bringing twiglets to school as like their crisps in their packed lunch, and I was like, what is wrong with you? Your parents clearly don't love you, because that's absolutely That's terrible. If I get crisps in a packed lunch, there's only one flavour I want. It's prawn cocktail. Thank you very much.
I don't understand releasing a crisp called Twiglets, and the gimmick is they look like twigs, and guess what? They taste like twigs and all.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, thanks. It's just like a bag of arses, and they taste like arses.
Walker's bag of arses.
Is this the first? Is this Wolverine cover the first console to be designed by a Scottish artist? Scottish comic book artist Mark Simpson, best known by his pen name Jock.
That feels offensive.
He's embracing.
He's one of them.
The stereotype. He's sold it.
Well, I suppose, didn't they do that tartan Xbox that you nearly killed yourself over not getting? Surely that was designed by a Scot.
Everyone, I know Xbox listen to this podcast.
Yeah, they love
us. Xbox, someone formerly at Xbox said they were going to look into trying to get me one of those tartan Xbox controllers, and then at the Scottish Games Awards there was an auction for one, not an auction, like a raffle to win one, and it was sitting right there, and I said, as a noble man, I says, I'm not going to do that auction because I'm going to try and get one in another way. I gave my money to charity anyway. It was like a charity auction, and I said I don't want a ticket. Like, so let someone else win it because I'm going to try and get one. Never got one. Yeah. So if anyone at Xbox is listening and there's still a way to get one of those, because that is my holy grail now. Now I've got my golden joystick. My holy grail is a Tartan Xbox controller.
Another thing to work up your shiter.
No, because the tartan comes loose. Apparently, it's not fully attached. It wasn't designed for retail.
It wasn't designed for rectal. Anyway, speaking of rectal, there's a 40th anniversary Switch 2 and Pro controller. What do you think of this? It's obviously it's not specifically for Ocarina, it's just generally for Zelda 40, but I think it looks okay. All the Zelda Switches and stuff look kind of cool, but all pretty similar. Like, I have the one for the Switch 1, the kind of white one for Tears of the Kingdom or whatever it is, and it looks fine, but I don't use it. It's still in the box.
It'll be fine. I'm up for it. I've decided I'm going to collect all the Pro controllers for Switch 2. That's going to be my new thing. Because it's,
you know how you'll fall down?
You'll
fall down exactly how I fell down with the DualSense, because they did one that was only for employees, and that's
no. I'm not counting. I'm counting like realistic ones.
Like, so you're a faker.
Even no, because even like collecting all the amiibos, like I've got every amiibo, but then you get people who go, "What about the gold Monster Hunter one? They only made 20 of in a raffle in Japan." Is that raffle my arse? Like there's
raffle my arse.
That thing's very good. I'm like I count the normal ones that normal people buy. Like I'm not getting into ridiculous. This is a one of one, like, you know, like those Tops videos where they allegedly give people preloaded packs so they can open one of ones on camera.
Lots of actionable claims on this podcast this week. Andy's clearly not been here for like a month because we've been so libelous recently.
I think you'll find there was a blunt allegedly thrown in there. A Jeffrey allegedly was thrown in there and nobody can deny it.
Jeffrey allegedly is the name of the lawyer that works for the VGC podcast, so
listen,
direct any your claims to him.
Listen, I've got a Resident Evil amiibo here, right? This is purely for the video customers. At which point does our test for an amiibo fall flat, right? Mm-hmm. So far, this is a Leon S. Kennedy amiibo. So far, the shape looks like an acceptable shape.
Yeah, that's actually quite an easy one, quite a small head.
But we've got a wee pickaxe here, which kind of throws the whole thing.
That's getting caught in the walls on the way back out. You're doing yourself damage there. You're getting the Jupier Giles after that.
Better believe it. So yeah.
So in conclusion, the Zelda Pro controller, you're going to get it.
Sold. It's one of those ones I was very wary of covering it because, it's so easy to fake these things these days. You just go into Chat GPT and go, can you fake me a Zelda controller? And while you're at it, write me some dialogue for a rideshare game. And so I was like, I don't know, but there's enough people saying, including some people who previously leaked stuff like the Switch 2 logo, saying, I've seen this and it's legit.
It's the real deal.
To run it. And I like it. It looks nice. I'm annoyed in the way I'm always annoyed when I'm like, well, I bought this day one. I'm not buying another console just so it looks like Zelda. I can't be bothered with the hassle of trading in and getting a new one and all that kind of stuff because it's not worth it.
Didn't we famously not buy our Switch 2s though?
I bought mine. No, I bought one, then sold it to my brother.
Yeah, double price.
Sold the one we got to my brother because then I bought one.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, even then, I wouldn't buy a new console. I wish they would just sell the dock.
Yeah,
because I would happily have a second dock upstairs in my other room, so I can. I mean, they do sell the dock, but it would be nice if they sold a Zelda version of the dock separately, so that I could at least have the dock.
I've not actually had a proper gander at this. Are they finally making Joy-Cons that aren't absolutely shite looking?
This is the first Joy-Con that's actually got a design on the Joy-Cons, by the looks of it.
Not just on the absolutely tiny sliver of plastic in the inside.
Correct.
I felt so bad because when Laura got her Switch, I was like, because she likes the different colour Joy-Cons and stuff like that. I was like, here's the deal. Like, this is what they've done with the Joy-Cons this time. It's shite. Do you still want them? Unfortunately for my wallet, the answer was yes. So that was 70 quid up the Swanee, but I did try my best to be like, you realise it's about a sliver of plastic that's actually the difference here. But I'm looking at it now, and yeah, it looks. See, to be honest, those Joy-Cons look a bit hoary to me. They look a bit like the. I've got
how you pronounce that? Horry. Horrid.
Yeah.
Horry Henry.
Yeah.
It's about a wee kid who makes peripherals.
It's him that leaked this.
But it looks like the right one's a bit greener. So the left one is kind of black and grey, and it's got the Triforce in the bottom left, the left Joy-Con. If that right Joy-Con is green, which is how it looks, that's your first non-black Switch 2 Joy-Con.
Yeah.
By the looks of it. I would like the dock, and I want the Pro Controller, but I'm not paying for a full console just for those Joy-Cons. I wish we'd sell the Joy-Cons separately, and like just so you can kind of make your own Switch 2 based on the components, your own Zelda one. But
I wonder if the actual console's any different, because a couple of the like special edition Switch ones had like designs on the back of the actual console rather than just the dock. I'm pretty sure the Scarlet and Violet one had like engraved stuff on the back of it. But
I would guess yes. That's just a complete guess based on the Pro Controller, because the Pro Controller now it looks like has got a wee sprite of Link from the first Zelda firing his sword on the back of the controller. My educated guess is that's on the back of the console as well. A wee sprite Link firing his sword, and it says 40th anniversary. That's a complete guess, and we'll see if I was right.
Well, you heard it here first. Yeah, fine. I don't. With all these things, I really don't need them. When I buy these fancy DualSenses, I never use them because I just use the Edge. And this is as bog standard as it. I didn't even buy the black one because when I needed a new one, I was like, "Oh, I'll buy the black one." The white one was like 50 quid cheaper. I was like, "Oh, I don't care. It's just going to get covered in my Cheeto dust anyway." I've got both Ghost IoT controllers still in the box. They turned up and I looked at them and I was like, "Oh, that's quite cool." Shelf.
I buy the fancy ones, but I still use them, and it's like because the problem with the controllers these days don't last like they used to. Like I could dig out my old NES controllers from launch and they still work, but I've lost count how many Xbox controllers I've gone through. When I pick up an old DualSense, like they'll always be. I think R1 sometimes sticks for me.
R1 on the launch DualSense and Circle on the launch DualSenses are humped.
So basically, I use them until, and obviously, if I'm jumping over to PlayStation for the EAFC, then I'm going to go through them a lot quicker as well, because it's like the sprint always gets gubbed on those. So I use them and then I just keep them as collectibles. So I'm working through my anniversary one and my Astrobot one just now, until they get run into the ground, and then I'll just keep them.
I got burned on the 20th anniversary PS4 controller that I used because they didn't do a Pro PS4 controller, not like an official one. So I used that constantly, and then when I had to replace the triggers on it, I had to replace something, and thankfully those controllers are quite easy to take apart. So, well, you'd think. I was taking them apart, and I was like, the whole thing is you unscrew them, and then there's like a pop that you do, and it just wasn't happening. So I was wrenching it, and then the plastic just like snapped, and I'd missed an infinitesimally small screw that like was load bearing apparently, and I was like, I'm not going to do this ever again. Also, like I've got the 30th anniversary place, the DualSense next to the 30th anniversary console, and then I've got the Death Stranding one next to that collector's edition, and my Astro one next to the wee Astrobot. I've not got any like Yote statue to make it part of a display, so I think that's why I've not bothered unboxing it, because I quite like them as a collect. Tying back to the vinyl chat from earlier in the podcast, I quite like them as like a visual collectible. But I was going to
say, is that a real anniversary one, or is that just one you took out a skip?
No, that's a real anniversary one. That also comes with the USB cable that has the little PlayStation 1 plastic thing on the end of it, which is cool.
I do like that, to be fair. What's your current favourite controller design?
That's a great question. Thanks
very much. That's why I'm a journalist. I'll tell you my current favourite one. This is the one that I've been using for my PC games at the moment.
Right.
It's the cheeky wee Forza one.
Yeah.
Because it's got a wee bit of transparency at the top. It's got a bit of gloss. And your bonus ball is it's got a wee pink. You can't really see it there. It's pink.
Oh, yeah, that showed up. That is a nice one.
It's not very good now. Yeah,
I know someone who got the controller holder for that. That's like the ramen noodle box thing. Yeah.
Scandalous.
You'll see them pretty soon. Maybe we can coerce them into giving it to us. Let me check console variations for controllers, because I'm sure maybe there's some I'm missing, but I really, really like the 30th anniversary DualSense. I just think the PS1 colors on stuff looks class, but
there's always people like Power A do really good. If you ever need a PC controller, Power A, who are basically, when you go into Asda or Argos, you basically see a sea of controllers from them, and they're like 20-30 quid, and they've always got like licensed designs on them, and they're always solid controllers. Like, they work exactly like you'd hope they would. The other one that I currently use for PC is they got a Pac-Man one, which is very nice. And it's like 30 quid, and it just works. And it's really good, very comfortable. So if you're anyone that ever look for a cheap controller, you can't go wrong with Power A, because they just do what they're supposed to do, and they don't feel like a cheapo controller. They feel legit.
I think I'll nail my colours to the mast on the anniversary one. I do like the Astrobot one as well. The only thing is, and this would be a pointless endeavour, make it like triple the price, and it probably wouldn't work properly. I wish they'd conceived some way to make the eyes animated on the touchpad. That would be amazing, but that's like a different product entirely at that point, because if you open a DualSense, it's not as if there's a big cavern behind there that you could put LEDs in or something. I'm sure someone's made a cool custom one, but yeah, I think
Xbox makes the best designs, like the limited edition ones. I also appreciate Design Lab, even though it looks like the American Design Labs get more options than the UK one, because for a while they had all the American football teams and stuff on it, I think, and we don't get them. I'd love a Cleveland Browns one, but I can't. I don't think you can. My name is Cleveland Brown.
That was not bad.
That was good.
That was absolutely off the rip.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a fan of a controller gimmick, I must admit.
Oh yeah,
it's
I love a controller gimmick.
It's the only thing I kind of buckle for. I wouldn't buy a new console. So I never get the limited edition console thing, because it's like you need to be someone pretty wild to buy another console.
Yeah.
To get a new design on it. Never mind. Delete.
You have to really have mental problems to buy a version of a console that is weaker than the console that you use. There's I think that if you were doing, Xbox has more good designs than PlayStation has, but I think I prefer the best of the PlayStation ones to the Xbox ones. There's a load of shit DualSenses. That's also part of the reason I get put off collecting all of them, because there was a point where I just naturally had loads of them. One thing that put me off was, they sometimes do these collections where it's like, we're releasing 5 at once, it's the same, but it's just like the what was it they called it? The Hyper Pop collection, that was just like, they dipped them in red, dipped them in green, and dipped them in blue. Tell you what though,
I was literally looking at those, when you said that PS5 Pro didn't do covers, I was like, I don't believe him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Famously hates Sony. So I went and had a look, and fair enough, you were right. But I saw that green one. I saw that green one, and I was like, if that was a PS5 Pro one, I'd be almost tempted, because I like a green console famously. And which is why I'm still hoping. I don't think this Xbox is coming out in the UK.
No,
I've seen no sign yet. Like, America's got like, let us know when it's like a wee tab to inform you when it's coming. UK site's got nothing. I don't think the green one's coming to the UK.
Well, we know it. Yes,
I should have been an influencer.
You should have been. Moreover, I think that the option here is obviously sign up for it, because we know enough people in America that. You send it to a Timur Hussein, and then he ships it for, what would it be to ship an X? I mean, it wouldn't be cheap. It'd be like 40 quid or something like that.
No,
but
in America with Trump's tariffs.
What, to ship an Xbox to the UK?
You want to ship an Xbox?
A lot of people are saying these Xboxes too expensive. They're not getting the green ones in England.
No, $80 minimum. No, I think it's going to be wild money to import to post a console to. I sent one of my books to America recently, and it was cost half money to do.
Just don't declare what's in it. Just say it's full of cans of Ghost energy. Anyway, let us know in the comments what your favourite custom controller is of the current whack. I think that there's some
your favourite custom controller and your favourite customs declaration.
Yeah, your favourite customs declaration. your favourite Twiglet, and your favourite chant about a CEO, because we are Zelnick supporters, faithful through and through. Thank you very much for listening to VGC, the Video Game Podcast. You can support us over at patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. Next week, lots of fun stuff. The week after that, it's going to be a bit crazy as we head to Gamescom and the Pokemon World Championships, but we'll be back all the same. You can check us out on the website, on Patreon, on YouTube, anywhere you get your gaming news. Until then, say goodbye, Chris.
With the Take-Two logo on my breast and the green and white upon my chest. Goodbye, Chris.
All glory to GTA 6, and we'll see you next week.